Hello and welcome back to episode number 61 for CrossFit Harrow podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We have Ash with us. Ash has been with us coming up to a year now, actually. I think Ash came just after the first lockdown, yeah? So first question I always kick off the podcast with is, I know the answer, but what brought you to CrossFit Harrow?
You guys were open. I think it was this time last year when I think we were allowed to work outside. I like to work out outside, and just googled what's open around, like what's open CrossFit wise. You guys came up. I never knew you were here actually, because I used to go somewhere. I used to go to CrossFit in Kilburn. And then I just called you. I give you a missed call. You called me back.
Yeah, it was that same day, wasn't it? Or,
As soon as you called me back, and you're like, "When do you want to come?" I was like, "I'll come today." Like, I'll just come down.
Yeah, we'll have a chat.
Have a chat.
Because I think they were getting on. They were doing their stuff outside.
Yeah. They were working out outside, and I just got excited seeing people working out, and I was like, nice. I can work with this.
And how long have you been doing CrossFit in general?
So before I came here, it was probably about 2 years before.
Okay.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So pretty recent. It's nothing I've been doing for like so long. Yeah.
And was that like you just kind of being curious of what CrossFit was 2 years before when you started? Was it you were pushed into it? Did you watch a documentary, as a lot of people do?
Yeah. I watched. Was it the Froning one?
That's my favourite podcast.
So that was my first
Netflix.
That was my first exposure to. I heard of it. Didn't really know what it was. Didn't really care too much about it. I just CrossFit was something that I heard of, but I was always just doing my own thing.
When you see Fronin's physique,
and I saw that documentary, I was like, this is, and he was just doing like ring muscle ups and like throwing around weight in his barn. I was like, this looks pretty decent.
Yeah, that's it.
So let me just like research it a little bit, and then I found out there was quite a few CrossFit boxes or gyms in and around London. And then I started off at CrossFit Kilburn because it was on my commute to work. Yeah, and it was good. It worked really well for me. It was like on my way into work, drop in there, do an hour session, leave, and then just got hooked.
Well, they often say that it is very addictive, and I think CrossFit is for a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people very addictive.
So I was at a gym. I was at like a commercial gym at the time, and I was okay with doing that. I was like doing my own thing, doing classes.
Oh, did you go to classes at?
I was doing like spin classes, yoga.
Okay.
Just more like spin and yoga classes, but majority of the time it was just swimming or just doing like my own conditioning or weight kind of workouts.
Yeah.
Then when I joined up to CrossFit in Kilburn, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm learning new stuff. So I kept both memberships running for like 3-4 months.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, at the beginning, because I didn't feel comfortable enough to like completely drop it.
It's like if you, just in case you're unsure, you don't get like what you feel the workout is.
Yeah. So I was doing the commercial gym, and CrossFit in Kilburn for like 2-3 months, and I was just killing myself. I was doing the workouts there.
The workouts that you were doing at the regular gym, were you doing like your style workouts, or now were you trying to mimic what CrossFit was doing?
I was trying to mimic what CrossFit was doing.
Okay, yeah.
So I was kind of like, I learned that technique at Kilburn, CrossFit gym. Then I'll go to like the Virgin Active and start doing this mad stuff.
And everyone's looking at you going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And I probably wasn't even doing it right. But then it got to a point where I was like, I don't need to really do that. I'll just fully commit to doing CrossFit and just like, just sign up to it. And
that's actually quite a big, not sticking point for a lot of people, but it's on the top of their, like it's at the front of their brain when they're thinking about like starting CrossFit. They always feel like, I need to keep my gym membership in case CrossFit's not enough for me. And what was it for you that clicked to think, actually, it is enough? And although every day is not the same and some days are harder than others, was there a point where you're like, no, I get it? Because you are, for me and the coaches here as well, like you understand CrossFit very, very well in terms of workouts that you see and how you approach them. So was there anything in particular that maybe kind of clicked for you to be like, no, actually, this is enough of a general well-rounded program?
Because what I found was when I was trying to like mimic the stuff in my own time at the gym, just probably wasn't getting the cues, and I was just like, if I actually apply myself in that hour class at the CrossFit gym, it's enough, right?
Yeah.
The main thing that kept me at the commercial gym was like, you know, having nice like molten brown creams.
One day, mate, I'll get them for you. One day I'll get them.
I like, you know, having access to like a pool and the sauna.
Yeah.
The pool was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I really like swimming. So that was kind of one of the main things why I wanted to keep that membership.
Yeah.
But then I got to a point where like the workouts at the CrossFit gym were enough, right? Like it's not as if I could do a workout at the CrossFit gym and the next day do like 20 lengths in the pool.
Yeah.
Where I was, you know, my body was needed to recover.
Yeah, especially like, you know, an everyday CrossFit, everyday person going to work, you know, going home. You know, it's not like you do it for a living. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, there wasn't a specific moment where I thought, right, this is it. I'm now going to fully commit. It just kind of made sense.
Yeah,
just kind of made sense.
And you found most of your not gains, but you found a lot of progress from applying yourself to that one thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing which was really like just really cool. Really was just seeing myself improve. Right, just like learning. Like for me, learning new stuff. I'd never done like Olympic lifting before.
Which is mad to think that you only done that 2 years ago and you lift, you know, fairly well.
Yeah, for me it was like this is kind of stuff you see on like the Olympics, right? Like real big weightlifters doing all these like cleans and
chalking up.
Yeah, chalking up and stuff. And like, you know, I was doing it. I was like, and obviously not doing it well, but like I think I knew that I had like the mechanics to be okay at it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the gymnastics, like for me that was like really cool. Just love like, you know, jumping up on a bar and stuff, and even like mobility stuff. Like just I always like doing a bit of yoga, and it would always incorporate that at the beginning and at the end, and then cardio. So it was just like everything.
It just kind of met that little wheelhouse in the middle.
Yeah.
Were you sporty growing up?
Yeah, I was one of those guys who was like okay at most things, but not exceptional at one thing. Right, so I was like played football. I was good enough. You play with my mates, like five-a-side, like the power league.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like the best. Like I'd run, but I wasn't like rapid at running. I could swim.
Just in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I was just like just average, like a jack of all trades. Which I was okay with because I could like get involved in different things. And I think that's probably why I like CrossFit, just because you've got like. It's not just focused on one thing. It's not just cardio. It's not just gymnastics. It's like a bit of everything.
But it allows you to perform at your own ability and still succeed. Like, you know, if you're going, you're still seen as like I've achieved something. So you know, at school, if you're running and you're in the middle of the pack, although that's a good effort for you, it might not be to, you know, the people looking on, right? But if within the CrossFit environment or CrossFit workout you're doing, like, you know that you're giving it your all, and that time reflects your, you know, your ability and stuff, or whatever it might be that day.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing which really I like about CrossFit is like it's like when you play football, there's just a lot of arguments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not even from the opposite team, from your own team member,
like
from your own team. Oh, why don't you pass me the ball? And like, you know, like little scuffles break out and stuff. And I'm not really there for that. Like it's just. You know,
and that doesn't matter what age, what level, like that happens. And if it ain't the children, as an example, on the pitch playing, it'd be the adults, like for their kids.
Yeah, or even adults amongst each other. Yeah. So I'm just like, why do I need to do this? Like, it's a lot of like, whilst it's really rewarding, like when you score a goal, or you know, it's like you're part of a team and you're in it together. But there's just like, I don't know, walking out of a class here, I just feel happy, right? That I applied myself, had a good workout, and I'm ready to start the day. Whereas with football, you might go there and you don't know how you're going to feel when you leave, right? You could lose the game, you feel shit. You might win the game, but like your mates like shouting at you for like not tracking back or something. Yeah,
you could win the game and play shit, and you're like, oh well, like.
Yeah. So a lot of my mates play football still. I don't really play with them; they're probably not good enough. But I still like to go and watch them and stuff. But yeah, I think I've heard this countless times that, you know, I probably wish I found CrossFit a lot earlier. Yeah. Because I probably would have.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Everyone says that, and I'm not sure why that. Why for you do you feel that you wish that you found CrossFit earlier?
Just because I think it would have made me it's going to sound a bit cheesy. It would have just made me a better person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not,
you kind of understand your body more. You also kind of like have an appreciation for like other people. You know what I like a lot about CrossFit is like you actually want everyone to do well. Yeah. Right. So even if you might be first, finishing the workout, I love to like just trying to like cheer people on and just try and push them, right? And that kind of mentality is good in any walk of life, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it would have probably even it would have made my lifestyle probably a bit more healthier, right?
And we don't really get that, like growing up in England, like unless you're in a private school maybe at most, but we don't really get that exposure to that style of training or facility or equipment. Like, I'm not saying that football or basketball or anything like that's a bad sport to play. They are very good. You learn a lot from those sports. But like if you compare let's say the US kind of sports system, they have a bit of an advantage, right? Because if you look at like, even if you top end athletes, or even middle of the pack, they do this stuff in school. Like when they're 15, 16, some of them do it when they're like 13. 12 even. Yeah,
like in school here, I went to school in Edgware.
Yeah, I was going to say you're quite local, right?
Yeah, so I went to school in Edgware, and it was just football, really. That was like the main sport.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was netball for girls, and for boys, we didn't do rugby for whatever reason.
At all?
No,
just wasn't big. Maybe at school.
I think it was just our school. Yeah, so it was just football, and then you just have PE.
Yeah,
and PE is just
made up.
Yeah, it was just like the worst thing ever.
The most exciting thing about PE is when you're indoors and the gymnastic stuff come out.
Yeah.
But that would only last like 1 week or 2 weeks, depending if the teacher knew how to use it, right? The apparatus.
Yeah, it depends who it is there. So, and then also there's stuff like rounders and stuff.
Yeah.
And again, it was like, I quite enjoyed that kind of stuff. I was okay at it. Not great, but I was just like, I'd always get involved, but yeah, there wasn't really like a focus on one thing. It was kind of just like a bit of everything.
I think a lot of people say that and realise that a lot of these like team sports, there are things that are transferable, but CrossFit has so many transferable skills in it that can help you in those sports. Like there's not a lot that you can take from football into CrossFit.
Yeah.
There are a few things, obviously, cardiovascular endurance, etc. But there's a lot of things that you can take from CrossFit into, no matter what sport it is, you can adapt that. And I think that's maybe why people wish they started younger.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly. So massively into sports at school. And then kind of like, when you left school, what did that look like for you? Did you...
I mean, let's get it right. I wasn't massively into sports. I was like,
okay,
I'd do it. But at school, probably spent more time like smoking behind the toilets and like, just doing like...
Getting up to mischief.
Getting up to mischief.
Yeah.
Getting up to mischief. And that probably distracted me a lot from like maybe like focusing.
That probably held you back from sport in another
probably, way. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd always have like, I'd always be interested in sports and like, a fan of like football or, play and stuff.
Obviously, that being your favourite sport, yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, when I left school, went to college, didn't do much sport in college.
Sport's not massive I think it is a little bit bigger now, but it's not massive at college.
Yeah, the main sport that we did was play table tennis.
Yeah, that.
I went to West Hart. You went to West Hart?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
and they had like a student unit. It wasn't student unit, student wing, and there was like a table tennis thing there.
Yeah, but I think because it requires like, especially being at college, like you're not sweating, like you haven't got to go change clothes, you ain't got that whole thing. You just pick up a bat and play. But it was quite a common thing, like in the social area.
Yeah. So yeah, again, not really wasn't doing that much sport at college, but outside I'd still play like five-a-side.
Yeah.
Right. And then like university.
Oh, you went to uni?
Yeah, I went to uni, and I went to a pretty sporty uni actually. It was Brunel, which I think they're quite big on the sports. But
yeah, I think they're one of the biggest. Yeah. Apart from the one in Leicester, there's one in Leicester. I think there's a massive.
That's the Montford.
I don't know, but there's I think one that way that's.
But yeah, for a uni that's like really sporty, I did minimal sports. I don't know.
What did you do at uni?
Business management.
You sports science?
Definitely not. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't do like a sports-based subjects. So, and again, I was playing football, just doing like five-a-side, like with like a dorm team that we'd play other dorms and stuff. And yeah, it was fun, but I'd just go to the gym. They had like a gym there.
Facilities are pretty good, yeah?
Yeah, facilities are pretty good, and I think they're much better now. But yeah, I wasn't involved in any kind of teams, right? And normally at university, that's when you kind of maybe align yourself to like rugby team, cricket team, football team. But I didn't really. I just kind of played football and just did a few things in the gym.
So business management at uni?
Yeah.
Is that something that you wanted to do? You knew that you wanted to get into that?
No.
Just wanted to get a degree?
Yeah, I mean...
It was the right thing to do?
Yeah, just kind of, just go university, and that was kind of like a generalist subject, almost like a safe bet, really.
What were you like at school? Did you do well academically?
Yeah, I was okay. I was good. Yeah.
Fucking around never stopped you from getting good grades?
Yeah. Luckily, I think my parents were pretty strict, so probably more scared of failing than anything else. So yeah, managed to do okay academically, and just went through university. And
so in uni doing business, like, what were you finding that there was like routes that you wanted to take within business?
I mean, what I'm doing now is completely not related to what I studied at university.
Is it not?
And I find that.
But that's very common, though.
Yeah, it's quite common.
You've got someone who'll study history that now works like behind a bar or something.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird. Like, obviously, I learned a lot at university, but how much of that do I really remember today, and how much of that do I actually apply in my job? Like, very little. I don't think in my job you need to be kind of like book smart.
But your job role I've got it written down, it's somewhere here, finance, it's actually on the wrong, financial services.
Yeah.
Relationship manager.
Yeah. So it's like essentially sales for like a financial software company. We sell to like banks and asset managers and so on. So you just need to be quite outgoing, quite organized, happy to pick up the phone. And
good at selling.
Yeah, negotiating and selling. I don't think university can teach you that. It's just experiences, right? Yeah.
There'll be elements of it, but yeah. And obviously, were you obviously lockdown forced you to work from home? But was that something that you were doing before, like with your job role? You used to travel quite a lot with work, right?
Yeah. So I was on the road quite a bit, covering like Sweden and Norway and Denmark as a territory, and the UK. So I was on the road quite a bit. So yeah, lockdown for me was like a bit of a game changer. Most of our selling was like face-to-face, meeting clients, meeting prospects, and now it was all through Zoom. Did you find it harder selling over? Yeah, very hard.
Yeah.
My numbers last year probably show that as well.
Well, to be honest, like even with the gym being closed, like selling over, like there's no shame in saying that obviously part of the gym membership is selling. Like, it was tough, yeah. Selling over a screen is very, very difficult and very different to in person.
It is hard because you can't actually read that person's body language.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah, you don't really know if what you're showing them or what you're talking to them about resonates.
It's sinking in, yeah.
Yeah, and like even the smaller things, right? So sometimes when you go to like a client office or a prospect's office, just the state of their office gives you a sense of what their budget is going to be.
Yeah.
Right? Should you like? There's just small things, right? And you don't really have that. Even small things like when you sign into reception, they come down and pick you up, and you walk up together in the lift. You have a bit of small talk, right? And it kind of almost like breaks the ice, and it kind of just sets the scene for the meeting.
Or it's very awkward.
Yeah. But now you're just like in a Zoom room.
Kind of straight to the point as well.
Straight to the point. Sometimes they don't even turn their camera on.
Yeah, right? I found that.
And like you can't really pull them up on that and say, turn it on, because...
Well, I don't know. I mean, now that I think of it, I think like, because we've been in situations that the same thing. And like, maybe you should. Or like, as in maybe we should.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like, see you over the screen. Like, I can't meet in person, so I'd like to know who I'm talking to almost.
Yeah.
It's a bit rude, you not think?
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, they might not have it on for a specific reason, right?
Just woke up.
Yeah, just woke up. And obviously, I'm the one who's kind of dragged them into this meeting. Like, I've told them, like, we should have a meeting. So, like, who am I to be like, turn your camera on?
Yeah.
I want to see. But I'll always have mine on. Like, so even if theirs is off, I'll have mine on.
Yeah.
And sometimes
it's a harder sale without a cat.
Yeah, it is hard. You
don't even know if they're on the other side.
Yeah, you just don't know what they're doing, right? Like, because sometimes even in meetings, you can just kind of see if they've turned off or not, and then it kind of makes you change tact, right? Like, should I just like wrap this meeting up and not waste any more time, or should I still go through the motions? Yeah, it's tough. Like I used to always go into the office. Always been a big believer of like being around people, just learning off people, bouncing ideas off my colleagues, just have that routine, like going to the train, like read, listen to a podcast,
grab a coffee,
go to the office. So at first I was like, this is really hard. But now I've kind of got used to it. I think our offices will open up in a couple of months, or next month actually, and we have the option of going back if we want to. So I might just do like a few days in, a few days at home.
It's very common that people are kind of mixing and matching, like a couple of days at home. Because it is, you know, if you're not being micromanaged, it's a very good way to efficiently work. Like you're at home, you're in your kind of own environment in terms of you get things done and you're not, no distractions. But at the same time, you do miss that social connection with people. So yeah, it's very common that people are doing half and half.
Yeah, and you can actually be as productive, or if not more, at home. You can actually get more meetings done.
And there's no excuse not to go to a meeting, because you're fucked. You have to go to the meeting.
Yeah,
it's not like Friday 4:00 and you say, sorry, I can't do it. I've got to go to here. It's like, well, your diary says otherwise. Yeah,
so it's going to be interesting once things open up again. Like, because I cover a territory abroad, you know, a lot of the time I'd get meetings just by saying, "Hey, I'm in Stockholm. Shall we have a meeting?" And they're like, "Oh, as you're here, come to our office." Yeah. Now it's like, well, let's just do a Zoom. Like, you don't need to have take a flight and come over.
And obviously the travel restrictions and the whole vaccine thing is going to be quite a limiting factor.
Yeah. So I just think a lot of our clients and prospects will just be like, we can just have it over. We can just have meetings over Teams.
It's just easier that way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies. I think I feel that over the next couple of years, a lot of companies are going to look to, in terms of like employment or recruitment, that the employee must have the vaccination.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of political stuff about that as well, right?
I mean, I won't go into it massively because people are probably watching this going, he's off, he's going to go. I'm holding it in. I'm going to hold it in. But that has been discussed, that potentially, like, part of your CV almost is like, I've had the vaccination. So, like, in your job role, for example, when this things do open, like having to travel, that could be a requirement. Like, have you been vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand it to travel.
Yeah.
Don't know how it would work from a HR perspective if, like, you know, all the candidates need to declare that they've been vaccinated or whatever. But
that's a battle in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's equal people fighting for that, saying no, you have to. But then there's equal people saying, well, no, like equal opportunities and unfair, and like, I don't know what the right terminology is.
I guess it's almost discrimination, right?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the word I was thinking.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can talk for hours about this stuff, but I mean, I've been vaccinated.
Both of them?
Yeah, both of them. And
did you have any side effects or feel any? This is not going to be a political thing about COVID-19, by the way, just to let you know. Did any side effects or anything?
Yeah, I was.
You did? Yeah.
Completely in bits the first time round. Like the first shot.
What did you feel?
Just felt like a horrible hangover.
Really?
And like severe man flu combined.
For a few days?
Just for one day.
One day?
Just for one day, and the next day I was perfect. But you just feel like just wanted to lie down, couldn't actually focus.
No gas, no energy, nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
And the second one?
Second one was okay, actually. Yeah, didn't hit me as bad, was functional. But yeah, the first one was pretty rough.
Some have said the same, and some have said the other way, like the second one has knocked them. It just depends. Everyone's made up differently, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be ashamed if you get hit both
times.
Yeah, because honestly, it was bad. It was rough. Yeah, it was rough.
Do you think it's a little bit of a snippet of like those who have had it like that dangerously? Do you think that's a snippet of what they had, or how they felt?
I think I had it like
before it was a thing.
Yeah, about March last year, kind of when it was kicking off. Lost taste in my couldn't smell, couldn't taste anything for like about a week. See,
I feel that I have, but I never got any of those symptoms. I never lost taste or smell or anything like that. That was one of the biggest things at the beginning, right?
Yeah, and that's all I had really. It was just that I had a bit of a headache, but you know when you open a jar of coffee and it's like I can't smell anything.
Really?
Yeah, just like have a swig of whiskey, nothing. Chili, nothing.
You are a whiskey man, yeah?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of whiskey. Yeah.
Fully stocked at home?
Not really, you know. I'm not a big drinker at home, but I do.
More of a social?
Yeah, more of a social, and like there's like a annual whiskey festival that gets held out in Old Billingsgate in London.
Okay.
And it's just so much fun.
You must come out of that fucking pissed as fuck.
Come out steaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really good. Like you can just sample like different whiskies from like different regions and.
When did you decide that like you liked whiskey? Like what age? Because I feel like obviously in my 30s, I feel like I still don't like it. I still cannot drink it.
I think for me it wasn't that long ago really.
They do say that about your taste buds as they like mature and like you like certain things.
Probably like late 20s, early 30s. I'm like 35.
But whiskey is quite a big thing in the Asian community, right?
Yeah, it is. But a lot of it's like, you know, whiskey and Coke and just like necking it. You know, it's like, you know, whiskey is a big thing in Asian communities, but it's the same in. I think you're always going to find pockets of people who appreciate it.
Like I just can't drink it. Like it makes me gag.
Really?
I can't do it. I'm a very simple person when it comes to drink. Beer, or I have to drink a drink I like. Like there are these M&S, you know, those girly drinks.
Oh, those mixers.
I'm probably going to get stick for that, as in also saying girly drinks. But yeah, the little mixers. Yeah. I've never really got around to whiskey. Like literally, it makes me gag.
Yeah, I mean, it probably did. I was probably like that many years ago. But I think after a while, you just kind of appreciate it, and yeah, even sometimes I could be drinking like 2 different types of whiskey.
Yeah, because there is different like is it? I don't know if the right terminology, like smoke differently or something like that.
Yeah,
is that
like some of them are like more peaty. They've got different notes and stuff, and the way they're finishing like different casks. I mean, there's so much about it. Like you can.
Well, it'd be the same as red wine, wouldn't it? Or wine.
Yeah. You can like really go into it deeply. I wouldn't say I'm fanatical about it. I probably have a few mates that are a lot more into it, and to be honest, I probably got influenced by them as well. You know, but yeah, I don't mind doing like a little whiskey tasting with a couple of mates and stuff. And
I think, is it Johnny Walker whiskey? Is that number 10? Is that one of the good ones?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
There's a few of them though, isn't there? Black label, gold label,
blue label, and stuff. There's so many. Yeah. There's so many. It's such a big market as well.
If you go on holiday, do you go to like look for? Is that your drink? Like, is that?
What, like in the duty free and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. I'm not really like I haven't got like bottles and bottles of whiskey at home. I have like 4 or 5.
Come out at Christmas and birthdays.
Yeah, and I'll just like enjoy it, and then I'll just buy another one. Whereas I know some of my mates will just like, every time they go on holiday, they'll just like, you know, buy a bottle, and they've got like a big collection at home.
Yeah.
I just like to actually just drink mines and just enjoy it. And once I finish that bottle, it's like, oh, that was a good one, and then I'll just like try another one.
Yeah, and then like not buying the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
What is your go-to drink for when you're out? Like out.
I'll always start on beers.
Yeah. Like, I think it's quite a guy thing.
Yeah, I need
like the ladies on Prosecco's or start Prosecco's.
Yeah, I'll do like really getting into like neck oil at the moment, or Camden.
Okay, the Camden, pale ale, Camden beer's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, any kind of IPA kind of stuff. And I never used to like IPAs before.
It's a sign of getting older.
Yeah, I used to always just drink like regular, like, you know,
Coronas,
Carlsbergs, Fosters, Peronis, and then like a few guys at work will always, whenever we go to the pub, I'll do a Fosters, and they'll just like, I'll have this random one. I was like, what is that? Oh, it's an IPA, it's a pale ale. I was like, just have a normal beer, mate.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? And then like fast forward a year, I'm that guy now ordering IPAs.
But it is important, I think, to try different things.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think I think it's just one of those things where once you taste it, yeah, it's just nice. So yeah, I'll start off on a few beers. Then I'll probably just do like whiskey gingers, just to like, you know, keep the night going, and then probably end up on a few neat whiskeys.
No way. I don't think that'll ever happen to me. Can't do it. How do you balance like training with, because obviously a big part of people's lives is social, well, not so much at the moment, but pre this virus and stuff, with alcohol and drinking and stuff and food, and like is that something that crosses your mind, or you just don't care, you just kind of live, not that you don't care, sorry, that's the wrong thing to say, as in you're not so fixated on it, it's more of like, I feel good, I'm gonna have a few drinks, I've got training tomorrow, it's not a big deal, like I'm not worried about anything like that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not worried about it. I probably don't go out as much anymore. Since I probably started doing CrossFit, just don't feel the need to like maybe go out on a Thursday just for the sake of it, if I know I want to train the next day. So it probably does play on my mind a little
subconsciously.
bit. Subconsciously? Yeah. Probably not going out as much.
Yeah.
And if I do go out, I'll probably just like take my foot off the gas a little bit, maybe just have like 2 or 3 drinks and maybe just like head home. Because what I think about is what's going to make me feel better. like having an extra 3 or 4 beers and having a hangover on a Friday, or actually waking up on time and going, having a workout. And it's the latter always, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I probably have had a few comments from mates saying, "Oh, Ash, come on, just let loose a bit."
Do that though, don't they?
Just let loose a bit. Like, it's not.
But I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying myself.
But it's fine. I mean, like, they're probably just used to the old Ash, right? Just going for it. But I think as you get a bit older, if you just don't feel the need, I personally just
hangovers take longer.
Hangovers,
as well.
yeah. I just don't just need to like minimize hangovers.
Everyone's watching, going, "Yeah, I know." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then has like aesthetics ever been, you ever been so fixated on that, like stopped you from doing things? Like, I take it that you're someone that just really enjoys training, managing, like you're not fixated on food, you're up for a good time, you're up for kind of like, knowing how much your body needs to eat and stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm like, obviously when I was like growing up younger, like from 18 onwards, I was like, I want to have like I want to look good, right? Like, I want to have a 6-pack, whatever. Never had a 6-pack, but then it's not going to start I'm not going to start having one. So yeah, probably when I was younger, like I'll try to like, okay, how can I, look better, be more muscly, whatever. But my body never really changes. Like, my mates always kind of take the piss out of me saying, "Oh, Ash, you've been training for 10 years, you look the same." And they've probably got a point. Like, my body doesn't like massively change. It's just kind of just like.
But your physical capabilities, there'll be a big difference to theirs and yours.
Yeah, so like strength-wise and cardio-wise, I think there's a lot of improvements there. But I'm okay with that. Like, luckily I've never really like put on a lot of weight. I might put on a few kilos here and there, and I might, the odd month here and there, the love handles might come out. But I've never like ballooned or anything. So I guess I've been quite lucky in that.
But equally, there's people that, aesthetically look fantastic, regardless whether they do CrossFit or not, but then don't have the physical capabilities of maybe what you have in terms of, cardiovascular very strong, very fit, aerobically very fit, physically.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends really on what you want.
And that's probably one of the reasons why I probably made the switch to CrossFit, right? Because when I was working out like alone in the gym,
that was important. Maybe
that was probably the driving factor, right? Just want to look good, just want to look trim, want to look good in like a shirt and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now, don't really, like, the looks are more secondary. It's more like I want to be good at, like, technically at these workouts, or I want to like be fitter, faster, stronger. So that kind of like supersedes everything else.
Yeah.
And if having a good looking body is a byproduct of that, then great.
Yeah.
If not, then it doesn't really concern me. I mean, I'm married now, so
you're set. You're fine. You're
done.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so a bit of home improvement over lockdown.
Yeah. I bought a house. Like, me and my wife, we bought a new place in like February, March. We moved out of a flat into like a house, and just doing a bit of DIY.
And realised that
I'm just horrendous at DIY. Like.
But you've got to be around it to like practice. Like, I feel like whether it be your parents or friends, like you have to be around those people to kind of learn how to do it.
Yeah,
like, can't just pick up a drill one day and that.
I've got a kind of new appreciation for like builders and carpenters and plumbers and electricians. Like, I think growing up, my parents would always like say, "Oh, you don't want to go into those jobs. Like, they're like labor type jobs. You want to be like academically smart and whatever." But now it's like, they're really useful. They've got like tangible skills.
I don't understand why we don't get taught that as like school, like your design and technology. Like, you make the most like you make one. I don't know what you made at school, but I remember making this box, like a little chest, like this big, and then you engrave with heat something in it. It's like, what the fuck am I going to use that for? Show me how to like measure, cut.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Basic things, right? Basic things. So yeah, it's been a bit of an eye opener, like doing things in and around the house. And to be honest, we pretty much
put it on hold.
No, we just outsourced it, right? We just got the pros in and just got them to do it.
But sometimes it does make life easier, because like you can't wing it, like, in terms of a house. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets to a point where if you actually want to make progress, probably should get someone in who knows what they're doing. But it's been good. It's been interesting just watching them, right? Just seeing what.
Are things finished now, or still?
Almost, nearly there. I've been told by a number of people that things never finish when you have a house. There's always something to do, and there's always more money to throw at things. But I think we'll be okay with how things are in a few weeks or so.
Yeah, we're getting the garden ready for the summer.
Yeah, the garden's actually okay.
Yeah,
it's the previous owners kept it in good nick. So just been mowing the lawn and doing a lot of gardening.
Doing it like the
stripes
stadiums, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it, but didn't quite work.
Are you a big barbecue fan, like, for summer?
I mean, yes, there's a barbecue in the house. Like, they've built like a brick barbecue in the garden, not in the house, in the garden. So
I was gonna say that's actually one of my life goals, to have like a barbecue inside. Do you know when you go to like Turkish restaurants and they've got that's what I love. I can't wait for that.
So yeah, the barbecue's there, and it's like a pretty decent one. I think they've got someone in to build it.
So the previous owners had that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they built it in the garden. So probably start making use of that. Yeah.
Because you gave up meat, or have given it up.
Yes. So it's a bit weird, really. Not weird, just a bit of a change in recent weeks. So I was a meat eater for all my life. At home, my mum doesn't eat meat. My old man eats meat. So growing up, I used to not always eat meat, but it was just part of my diet.
Yeah.
And then, like, in and around, I don't know when it was, 2017 or 2016. No, it was before probably 2015. Probably about 5 years ago. Again, watched a documentary on Netflix, and it was called Vegucated. So it was just a documentary about the industry, and like
how Seaspiracy is now about fish.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
I've watched half,
but it's probably very similar.
Yeah, I've watched half. I need to finish the other half.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Yeah. So I watched this documentary. Netflix seems to be like kind of running my life, but
well, I think it's done a lot. It's done it to everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, I just watched this documentary and just saw the process by which the food actually gets onto our plate, and the impact it has on the environment, and also kind of like what the animals go through. And I just thought to myself, I don't really want to be part of that. Like, I don't know, something just happened. So I remember my wife, my girlfriend at the time, was packing her bags to go to Spain. She was like going to see her family, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be." I was like, "Let's watch a film on Netflix." She was like, "Okay, but I'm going to pack my bags first. I'll be about half an hour." I was like, "All right, cool." So
you watched the first half hour about it?
So I watched the first half hour. Yeah. So I was like, while she was doing that, I just put it on that documentary. She finished packing her bags, and then she come back to me in the living room, and I was just like, "Stopped eating meat now." And she just laughed at me.
Wait, it was there and then? You're like,
there and then? Yeah, I was like, I'm just not going to do it. And she just laughed like in my face. She was like, "You're not going to stop eating meat because like
you love meat.
You love it so much. Like, we go to Spain, you're eating like all hamon and everything, and like eating steaks, whatever, like Nando's, all that kind of stuff." I was like, no, I reckon I'll stop. And I was like, I'm gonna try this vegan thing out as well. And then she was just like, all right, whatever. She didn't take me seriously. And for a few weeks after that, I even stopped. I was like doing vegan, but I very quickly realized that I can't really
sustain that.
I can't sustain that. Like, it was quite tough. So I was like, okay, I'll just be vegetarian.
There's a lot more to like in terms of clothes. Like, it can be taken to the extreme.
Yeah. I can kind of see why people might want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got their own.
But I think in this day and age, I think it's nearly impossible to be completely 1,000% vegan.
Yeah. So yeah, quickly dropped the whole vegan thing. Like, just need to drink milk, right? Have cheese and stuff. And then I just went vegetarian. But then I was thinking, like, I'm just not getting enough protein. Like, this is not good for me as well, right? As much as it is, I feel it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I need to think about myself. So I thought, okay, let me introduce fish into my diet. And that was it for like up until this year, so about 5 or 6 years.
So you went meat free for 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. Didn't touch it, didn't miss it. I was just happy. It was just normal for me after, and I just eating fish, like,
Because you said that you wanted to give blood.
Yeah. So.
But couldn't.
Yeah. So this was like 2-3 weeks ago now.
Okay.
So I stopped eating meat, just eating fish, and that was it. That was my life, whatever. And like, got all the flack from mates and family and stuff, like, yeah, what is this? And I was just like, it is what it is, and so be it, right? And that was it. Like, everyone kind of got used to it. And then like 3 weeks ago, I went to go give blood, and for the first time ever, they said, we can't accept it because we can't accept your donation because you've got low iron levels.
Did you automatically know straight away why?
No. They said it could be, he said, like, have you changed your diet recently? Because what they do when you give blood, they take like a small sample from your finger and they drop it in like a water, in some sort of
fluid mixture.
Yeah, and if it sinks to the bottom, you're good. If it floats, then there's not enough iron in it. And then they do another test, and he said, oh, you're low on iron. I was so angry. I don't know why, right? I've got no reason to be angry because it is what it is, but I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know, I should have like all optimum like levels in my blood.
Because you look after yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm generally okay. And then he's like, so we can't accept your donation. I was like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow then, right? He was like, no, you got to come back in like 3 months' time, because you can only give blood once every 3 months.
Okay.
But
I've never done it. I don't know. Actually,
yeah, but I just thought because I didn't give it, then they just allow me to come again next week and everything will be okay. He was like, no, in 3 months' time. And for me, that's like, for me to give blood is something which it's a small thing that I can do to like maybe just help society and just I don't know, help someone who might need it. And the fact I couldn't do it really got to me. I don't know, it's a bit weird. So I literally I was okay, I didn't take it out on him and everything. I was like, okay, fine. And they literally got out of the donation place, went straight to Tesco, picked up like
ribeye steak, sirloin, fillet.
Steaks, and I think it was just chicken at the time because the steaks were a bit ropey in Tesco.
Yeah.
So I just picked up a few bits of chicken, went home, and my missus was like, what the hell is this? I was like, they refused to take my blood. I've got low iron levels. This can't happen again. Like, and she was like, are you sure about this? Like, I was like, yeah, I'm sure about it. So for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's probably been like 3 weeks, just been incorporating meat back into my diet.
Did it taste good when you had it back?
You know what? It tasted like I'd never stopped eating it. Like even my missus was like, how do you feel? How does it taste?
I was going to ask.
Because she was like, you look very comfortable eating that.
You've been eating slyly when you're at the house.
She was like, you actually look pretty normal. I was like, yeah, it's just food, right? And to be honest, like, being vegetarian, you can be healthy and be vegetarian, but you need to think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
because you can be very unhealthy and be vegetarian and think you're healthy.
Yeah, and I think during lockdown, I've probably been verging more towards being a bit more unhealthy about it, with it. So, yeah, I mean, and even my wife asked me yesterday, she was like, do you regret what you've done? Like, I've done something really bad, right? She's like, do you regret like going back to meat? I was like, no, not really. Like, I don't. If I do something and it affects my health, like me not being able to give blood or my iron levels are low, then I need to adjust something, right?
Did you have any side effects from reintroducing it back into diet? Did you like dodgy stomach or anything like that? No,
not really. So,
and obviously I'm assuming that you've eased back in. You haven't just gone like meat every single meal, every single day.
Yeah, no, not every single day. So yeah, just like I don't want to eat crap as well. So I'll like cook it at home, right? I'll try to like.
Yeah, because the first thing someone would have done would have gone to McDonald's.
Or KFC or something. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that will happen at some point. But
I have a very funny story about McDonald's, which I've shared with a few people. I got back to my flat the other day.
Yeah.
And I've not had McDonald's in 3 years.
Yeah.
Someone listening to this, possibly who lives near me, could be if they'd be like, that was my McDonald's. Basically, my front doorstep was McDonald's.
Someone left the delivery there.
Yeah, so I was thinking, so I checked my flatmate went in, there's no one else. So I brought it inside. Looked on the label, like there was no address, nothing. So obviously the driver's just delivered it to the wrong flat. Yeah. I thought, right, it's been there since 7 o'clock, it was like 8. I was like, well, what's the only thing that's warm? It's quarter pounder with cheese. It's fucking the best McDonald's I've ever had. I hadn't had one in like 3 years. But it actually tasted amazing.
I mean, things taste better when they're free.
Yeah, I was about to say, and they taste better when they're free. So if you are listening to this, I did have your McDonald's, whoever you may be, and I will buy you one if you need it back. But most people would have opted for Mac. So it's actually good that you've cooked that yourself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I just prefer just to cook it. Like, I want to eat like more like whole food rather than just like processed.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably will have a McD's or a KFC at some point, But yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure exactly how I feel about it right now, like, but at the time it seemed like the right thing to do. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Well, if giving blood something that you want to do, and eating levels of meat is going to require you to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about giving blood is because my dad always gave blood. He worked for the NHS. He wasn't a doctor. He's more like a pharmacist, chemist. But I think he's given blood for like 25, 30 years. And he'd always like bang on about it to me. He was like, you should give blood. You should give blood. And you know, when you're younger, you don't really care about those things, right? So yeah, I'll do it.
You don't see the importance of it.
Yeah, but now I see the importance of it. So yeah, I just feel like I don't want to be limited just because I'm not putting the right stuff in my body.
Yeah. And you had some life-changing news through lockdown. Yeah. Which has been pretty tough.
It has been pretty tough, actually. You know, everyone's gone through like a really hard time over the last 12 to 18 months, and I think I'm in that group of people as well.
Pretty near the top of that too.
Yeah. It was pretty intense. So yeah, my wife and I lost our daughter at 24 weeks. It was in February this year. So yeah, it was. It's hard to really explain. What happened was, my wife was 24 weeks pregnant, and there were complications with the pregnancy, and we lost her. We got to spend some time with her. We got to spend 24 hours with her, which was like the hardest 24 hours of my life, but also like probably the most special 24 hours as well.
You'll hold on to that for a long time.
Yeah. And it was, you know, it's just like,
because you were working towards like obviously like bigger house and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like so much happiness, right? So the 24 weeks that we had with her, probably the happiest 24 weeks of our life. Yeah. Right, telling our parents, telling my wife's parents, telling our friends, telling our family, like everyone's so happy for us, and then that happens, and you're just like really, really happy, and then like at the lowest of the low,
just flips you upside down.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Obviously it's going to be something that you may never fully kind of overcome, but you've obviously you and your partner have worked together, had a support network around you to kind of try and put yourself in a positive state of mind.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're in a better place now than we were 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, of course.
It was, obviously our friends and our family helped us through the whole process, but it was just devastating. It was just like, it was just really sad.
Yeah, you may have felt, or I think you did, because we spoke briefly, that nothing else was important. Like you didn't want to do nothing, whether work wasn't important, training wasn't important, what you eat wasn't important.
Yeah, everything went out the window. It's like time stopped, like everything just froze, right? Like you just wake up in the morning and you're just like stuck to your bed. Just literally just feels like the mattress has just got you this. Just can't really move, and you need to be strong for my wife, and whatever I'm going through, she's going through a lot more mentally and physically as well.
It's obviously hard for both individuals. But I could only imagine for a female what that may feel like.
It's hard. It's hard, like seeing the person you love the most kind of go through that, right? And you feel quite helpless.
Because there's nothing you
can do. There's nothing you can do, and it's like, and normally there's always something I can do, and that's what was really hard. Like we've gone through so much in our life up until now, and I've always been the one of trying to like guide us through it and be positive about things. I mean, what can you be positive about in a case like that, right? But it was just really, completely life-changing. Like, we're part of a group of people that nobody wants to be a part of, which is like bereaved parents. You know, it's really tough. It's like there's so many words I can try to use to describe it. To me, it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad having to have left hospital, not with our daughter in our hands, but a box of like memorabilia. You know, it was sad having to plan her funeral and, you know, carry her coffin.
Yeah.
Like, all of that was like super sad, right? And the funeral was something which
you don't anticipate as a parent, not till, you know, you're hoping that essentially, I think, obviously, you know, in my having experienced why having lost my mum in being younger, that you don't think to see to have that happen at an early age.
Yeah.
You know, you always feel like as a parent you'll be the first. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like in pecking order, but life doesn't work out that way.
No, yeah, and that was probably one of the hardest things was the funeral. But strangely, once the funeral was over, my wife and I were almost a bit relieved.
I hate to say we use the word closure, but it kind of it's like an acceptance.
Yeah.
And stepping stone to like, right, well, it can't change now. And
that closure. Wouldn't say we're kind of completely out of the woods, but it was almost like a step to kind of like move forward and kind of like remember her.
Do you think it had any influence of you wanting to, obviously you said about your dad always give blood, but do you think that made you want to give blood even more just for the sake of wanting to help another person?
Yeah, maybe subconsciously, yeah. I mean, I think I've always, for about 3 or 4 years, I've always been given blood. But yeah, like, just life's so precious, right?
Yeah.
And like, if there's anything I can do to like helps, then yeah.
Yeah. But now we're in a better place, better position, both you and your wife.
Yeah, much better. So like, obviously when we were going through what we went through, like you said, like training went out the window. Just probably lost quite a bit of weight, and yeah, everything was just like really grey, dull, dark, lonely. It's pretty tough. And I just felt really like it's a really strange sensation. Like my legs, were so heavy. I just couldn't. Even just walking down the street, I just felt like I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just more because just mentally you're going through so much. But I remember that quite vividly. Like my legs just not being able to like function as they should.
That's a really specific like feeling of
yeah. It was really weird. But then we slowly started getting, I guess time's a great healer, right? It's probably the only healer in a situation like that. So once we kind of got through a little bit more, started doing like it was still lockdown, so obviously you guys weren't open, but you were doing the
online stuff.
So I started doing a bit of that. Just and again, I wasn't doing it with high intensity. It was just more to kind of
keep me occupied
and get back into it. And then at some point, you kind of just need to, I hate to say it, but like move on. And I wouldn't say that we've moved on. Like, we still have our moments. But yeah, just coming back into here has, for me personally, has been like has been a lifesaver. Just being able to like, it's hard to explain, but just being able to focus on something and feel like you've achieved something, especially after going through like so many lows.
Just a slight bit of happiness in what your daily task of simply of working out.
And just kind of just being around people and like, just knowing that this is almost a bit of a release, right? So as much as what's happening in our private lives and stuff, you can come here and like just kind of let it all out.
Through exercise.
But yeah, the one thing which I probably take away from all of this in terms of what's happened is like, I just tried, it's going to sound really stupid, like just try and be nice to people. Just don't know what people are going through. Like,
I don't think it sounds stupid at all. I think I think as humans we take things for granted naturally, and maybe quick to judge or assume, or if someone might not say hello the right way or what you're used to or whatnot, we like blah blah blah. But actually, there's we should be a lot nicer to each other.
Yeah.
And generally asking like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I think especially like being males, that gets almost frowned upon. And I think a lot more males are talking about how they feel and expressing themselves and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree that we definitely as individuals should take care of each other a little bit more and just generally asking questions.
Yeah, I mean it costs nothing, right? Just to be nice. And I think in our day-to-day we're just caught up with our own problems and stuff, and you probably maybe not as considerate as you might be.
Like life passes just so fast without realising. Like by the time you know you start the week at Monday, but you blink and it's like Friday night or Saturday morning. You're like, where's this whole week gone? And then in that space of like, maybe not showing people the care or attention that they might need if someone is going on with something behind the scenes that they haven't expressed but they don't know how.
Yeah, I mean it's hard, right? Because you don't want to feel like you're intruding all the time. But at the same time, if you don't speak up, that you've got some issues. I mean, what happened to me? Like there's no way I could hide that, right? So my manager at work, with my friends and my family, it's like this has happened. So people were very supportive.
Yeah, and asking for that support, and also people think that sometimes asking for support is like a negative thing, but actually it's not.
Yeah,
you need that support.
Yeah, and like you can't really hide something like that, something so life-changing, right? You can't just kind of brush it under the carpet. So yeah, there's just a bit of probably the worst 12 months or however you want to
just all rolled into
rolled into one. But yeah, we're in a good place right now, and hopefully we can move forward, and things will be a lot better going forward.
And what's the plans for you? In terms of like whether it be training for work, what's the next obviously depending on what this situation in the world of lockdown kind of looks like. But what's the plans for you? What do you want out of the next 6 to 12 months? Where's Ash going? What's Ash doing?
I haven't actually thought about that one. Just want to feel good about myself, just want to feel good about myself, and just be in a good place mentally. Yeah. And
paying it forward, I guess, like showing that niceness. Yeah. If that's even a word. Yeah. To one person, that person passing it on.
Yeah. I just want to be a nice guy, if I can help people, and whether it's like just to be there for them to speak to. Yeah. I definitely want to, obviously fitness wise and so on, keep coming here. I mean that aspect of my life I think is pretty well kind of in control of, because I come here in the morning, I get it out of the way, so life's not gonna
You've always been someone who trains in the morning, right? From all the time from the time you've been here.
Yeah. Since I've been doing CrossFit, it's always been in the morning. But before that, it would be after work and stuff.
Do you find that people make that decision because of the demands of CrossFit? So you're like, if I go after work, I'm probably either not going to get it done, or I'm going to feel fucked doing it. And you think, if I get it done in the morning, I'll feel better. Yeah, I think it's more a case of, for me personally, I just want to get it out of the way. Not out of the way, it makes it sound negative. But I just It sets you up for the day.
It sets me up for the day, yeah. Because this is when I don't know, working in sales, right? You have to be quite energized. You've got to motivate yourself. And the thing that I always say to myself is, if I've done a crazy WOD or something, right? I'm like, which other fucker's done that this morning? All the guys on my team, or even if I'm speaking to a client, it's I'm already one up on him or her. Yeah. Because I've done this. Yeah.
It's a great start to the day.
Yeah. So for me, it's just I've done more than anybody else already. But then I now need to continue that. Going forward. So.
No, that's good. Ash, it's been great talking to you. We have run out of time. And we'll see you obviously back in the box this week. And guys, thank you very much for joining us. See you next week.